You're pursuing a career that for sure you do not love. But because you are forced, because you are influenced from wherever you come from, you are influenced from your society, from social media, the expectations of others towards you was too much. The noise was too much that you got to a point where you said, no, I will pursue this so that I can get this status and this money. I want us to talk about the career trap. There are 3 questions that you get asked whenever you go to a new place. The first question is, who are you? What is your name? The second question is, where do you come from? And the third and final question is, what do you do? I want us to take time and look at the third question. That is, what do you do? The reason why most people ask other people that question is not because they are interested in you. Most of the time, it is because they want to know what it is that you're doing in terms of a career so that they can know where to place you. Are you an asset or are you a liability? But sadly, this question has been able to impact millions of young people out there, because at the end of the day, every young person wants to be carried with respect. And there are careers out there that are carried with respect. For example, when you talk about being a doctor, when you talk about being an engineer, when you talk about being an architect, when you talk about being a pilot, when you talk about being a surgeon, these are prestigious careers, and people who carry those titles are celebrated. And you can tell me that even in your own home, in your own family, you will realize that the people who carry titles, they are usually carried with a lot of weight. The people who have prestigious careers in your families, no idea, no agenda in the family home can be able to be passed if they are not there. And there are so many people, and especially young people, who have seen this from their own families. They have seen how there are people who are carried with so much respect, so much love, that even as you go back home, you're called for harambes, you're called for fundraisers, you're called for somebody's dowry, you're called. These people are always called in these ceremonies, and they're usually the key chief, what do we call them? Chief guests who have been invited to attend to these events back at home. And because of that, we can see a generation of young people who have decided that, I will pursue status because I can see actually what status does in my own family. I will pursue these careers that have prestige in our own families, in our own communities, so that at the end of the day, I will not be disrespected. At the end of the day, I will not be despised. But soon and very soon after pursuing these careers, of course, these young people go through high school, and after high school, they go to campus and pursue these careers that look prestigious, and after they finish and graduate, they go and start pursuing those careers. But after a period of time, these same people who are pursuing these careers, they feel disconnected from their work. They feel like they are burnt out, because whatever it is that they are pursuing now no longer makes sense. That status symbol that they were chasing, now they have it, but they still feel unfulfilled. They still feel empty. And they don't seem to understand why it is that they feel empty despite of all the money that they have, despite all the status that they have. They still feel alone. even as they go home. And I know that this is a problem that so many young people go through today. And I know that I'm speaking to a young person out there. You are in that space. You're pursuing a career that for sure you do not love. But because you are forced, because you are influenced from wherever you come from, you are influenced from your society, from social media, the expectations of others towards you was too much. The noise was too much that you got to a point where you said, no, I will pursue this so that I can get this status and this money. And so I want us to talk about this pressure that is called the career trap. And I know there are so many people out here. You're struggling with this. You feel disconnected with your work. You're probably in an office and deep down you know that you were made for more. You were made to probably become a creative, but you're in a space where you're boxed in. Maybe you wanted and you desired to become a musician, but you are in an office and you feel like things are not moving. You feel you're trapped. You feel like you're stuck and you don't know how to get from where you are at to where you ought to be. It is not too late. I know exactly how it feels like because I can tell you from my own story. I remember there's a time I was stuck in an office job. And for sure, I knew that this was not the space for me. But because I had decided to follow the wave of expectations from society, from my family, I chose to get into that space so that I can earn money and become somebody. But I remember every single Monday morning, I used to struggle to wake up in the bed. I remember every Monday morning, I used to struggle getting out of bed because I could not see how I would go to this space that I felt trapped in and spend a whole 8 hours just doing things that I feel disconnected with. But over time, I got to a place where I had to make a decision. But I want to challenge you, do not follow my path. What worked for me does not mean will work for you. But for me, I decided to just stand up and I quit. And I left that place and I decided to pursue other things that I felt passionate for. This might not be your story. Maybe this will not work for you. You need to understand where you are at. You need to understand who you are so that when you make this decision, you make it from a place of knowledge, not from a place of also influence from whatever I'm telling you. And so the key question is, how do I move from where I'm at? This person who is feeling trapped, this person who is feeling stuck, this person who is feeling unfulfilled and empty, despite being in a prestigious career, despite being in a place where you earn a good salary, but you feel disconnected. So how do you move from that place to where you feel you ought to be? And so one of the areas that I've seen works wonders for so many people is first and foremost is for you to understand what it is that you desire to do with your life. And I remember in the previous episode, I talked about how it's important for you to identify your passion. It's important for you to understand the things that you love, the things that you feel a burden for. It's important for you to understand who you are, the things that bring you energy, the things that make you alive when you do them. I do not know what that is for you. It could be music, it could be traveling, it could be food, it could be fashion. Whatever it is for you, it's important for you to first and foremost identify what that is. And the second thing is, even as you are in the place where you are at, you don't need to stand up and quit like I did. but you can decide to pursue that passion as a side business. For example, if you love photography, you can, do photography over the weekends. You can partner with a photographer out there, and you can go out and shoot events and do those photo shoots out there and perfect that skill that you have, even as you continue doing that which you're doing. And even as you do that, you're also better placed to be able to start this business and to try this idea that you have, and also be able to save some income so that you can be able to inject into this business that you're trying to do. And I've realized that this is one area that works wonders, and I'm challenging you to just try it out. And even as we continue to go through this amazing topic of career trap, I want you to just, comment in the comment section and probably just tell us your story. You can tell us where you are at. If you're feeling fulfilled, you can just tell us, I am in this career and I desire to do this other thing. You can just drop it on the comment section below so that we can have conversations and so that we can be able to see how we can together work this thing out. That even as we come towards the tail end of this episode, I want you to do something that even as you desire to transition from wherever you are to where you ought to be, it's important for you to take a challenge every week. And this week's challenge is very simple. I want you to start taking steps towards doing that which you feel you desire to do in your life. That even as you continue in your career, why don't you take simple steps towards pursuing these passion projects that you can start on the side? If it is DJing, start DJing during the weekends. If it is photography, start doing photography over the weekend. You can probably just go online and pursue a course on that. You can do a course on photography, a course on music production, whatever it is that you want to do. You can do a short course that can be able to build on that passion that you have, so that you can have these skills that are necessary for you, even as you desire to pursue what it is that you want to do. And so, I am challenging you that it is possible for you to pursue what it is that you want to do. But also, I believe strongly that there are also people who are able to do those two things together. Because at the end of the day, we are not talking about just passion without money. We are not just talking about passion without status. We are saying we can put these two things together. You can continue doing your career even as you pursue your passion. You can see how you can merge these two different elements to form something amazing. I can tell you a story of a young man who wanted to pursue a software engineering. But because of where he comes from, the parents used to own a chemist, a pharmacy store. And so the father wanted this young man to continue with his legacy. Because at the end of the day, he wanted when he dies, he leaves something for this young person so that he can continue with the family legacy. And so there was a pull and push together with the father together with the son. And there was a friction in their relationship. But after some time, this young man came up with a brilliant idea that I think will work for you. So he decided not to fail his father's legacy, desires. And so what he did is he continued to pursue pharmacy as a career, and on the side, he did software engineering. And so he took these two different elements and he merged them into one. And so he took over the family business, but what he did is he took the business that the father had, and then of course he brought his software engineering skills and he developed an app. And this app has been a successful app because now the family business is supplying medicine in places where the father could not. because of the skills that the son had. And together they are pursuing these different paths, so pharmacy and software engineering, and they have merged the two. And so this is a business that is so solid. And so the young man is taking this idea that the father had and is taking it to new heights because of the skills that he acquired and because of the passion that he had in software engineering, with software engineering. And so even as we come to the end of this episode, remember, it's not about either passion or status. It's not about either money or passion. You can merge the two. But at the core of everything, it's important for you to be true to yourself. It's important for you to pursue what it is that you have a passion for. And also it's important for you to honor where you come from. So thank you so much. And if this episode has been of value to you, do not hesitate to share with a friend.